Hey everybody, don't forget to check out MyBookie Sportsbook and Casino, America's most trusted sportsbook in 2019. You can look at betting lines and place bets in bare knuckle and MMA. Don't forget to use our referral code down below for a 50% sign up bonus. That's MyBookie Sportsbook and Casino. Boom, there it is.
Boom. There it is.
Mr. Tom.
Great sweatpants season.
Hey, I like it, man. Hey, guys, thanks for tuning in to Combat Insiders Live episode, I don't know. I don't remember. It's like
Tom Show
or something. Yeah, episode Tom Show. Thanks for joining in, guys. We appreciate it so much. Every like, share, view means so much to us. And, we just really appreciate it. We are dual streaming on Facebook and YouTube. I don't know what I was about to say right there. Facebook and YouTube. So, I just can't say it enough. Also, obviously, CombatInsiders.com, new and improved. Broken record once again, but I have to plug it. Knucklepedia, go check that out. Knucklepedia is kicking. We just did a lot of upgrades to it, so go check it out. Man, go check out your favorite bare knuckle fighter. Go check out Tom Shoaf. He's in there too. Go check him out. Go check out his record. And got some new and cool stuff coming soon for that too. So CombatInsiders.com. Obviously, all the news and videos that you come to love and expect. On top of that, we also have the Knucklepedia. So thank you. It's all for you guys, and we love to do it. Tom Shoaf.
What's happening?
My favorite co-host. Well, don't tell Nick. Don't tell Nick that. I won't
tell Nick nothing. I won't tell Nick nothing. That's between
I won't.
You.
Yeah, don't tell Nick. Even though we're on a live stream, don't tell him. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
What's going on, brother?
Not a whole lot, my friend. Not a whole lot. Just trying to stay out of trouble.
Yeah, that's all we can do.
My life.
That's all we can do, homie.
Precisely.
That's all we can do, man. We're a couple weeks past BKFC 8. We're a couple weeks out from BKFC 9. We got a big UFC card coming up just in a couple of days. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of stuff on the table, man.
There's a lot going on.
I'll save some of the BKFC stuff because we got a lot of guests coming on. We got Joey Beltran coming on at 8:15. Stay tuned for that. 8:30, we got Harris the Sandman Stephenson. 8:45, we got Kaleb Harris. And then at 9 p.m., we have Lorenzo Hunt. So stay tuned for that. A lot of great guests, a lot of interesting topics to talk about with them.
Action-packed.
Yeah, action-packed, man. A little bit. I know we're probably going to talk about it some more, but I kind of want to get started, man. Just very briefly before Joey comes on is UFC this weekend.
Yeah.
Masvidal Diaz.
Yeah, it's going to be good. I'm excited.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, What do you think, man? Because you know my thoughts. I expressed my thoughts on this fight.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess for the people that didn't see that video, we talked about this fight at great length. And I love the fight. I'm just kind of against the whole BMF title thing. I don't know, man. I don't think and you know what? In all fairness, and this is a compliment to both those fighters, it doesn't need to be there. Like, they don't need it for this fight to still be big. I don't think it's necessary. I
agree.
I think
did you see the little promo that they did building up to the fight? It was part of the countdown where they talked about, like, of all the fighters to have ever come into the UFC, of all the generations that we've had, there's never once been somebody who's been crowned the baddest motherfucker to ever step into the cage, and they're actually making a title for it. They're making it a big deal. I agree that the necessity isn't there, but I also think the nostalgia of having a belt that says baddest motherfucker on it is like the coolest shit of all time. like fuck any other world title. Like, I got this belt and it says baddest motherfucker on it, and I got it from fighting dudes. Like, That's the coolest shit ever.
I hear you. I do. I hear you. I just Tom Schoaf. I don't know, man. I hear you, and I get it. I do get it. I really do. I truly do. Um, I mean, if anybody is going to fight for the belt right now, I guess it should be those two guys. I mean, it's the right fight. I just God, I don't know, man. It just doesn't quite. I just wish
something feel fake about it to you.
Yeah, I mean, I like, and then the whole like The Rock being there, which hey, who doesn't love The Rock? But I mean, I don't get why he's going to be the one to present the belt and he's getting involved, and
that's strange to me.
It's just weird, man. You know,
that's kind of peculiar to me.
I don't like the idea of the belt in general. I love the fight, so I know people were shitting on me before, like, oh, you don't know a good fight, blah blah blah. Like, hey, man, relax. I'm not shitting on the fight itself. I'm just this whole BMF title thing. That part aside, I think Masvidal. I think he puts Diaz away, and I think he puts him away early.
Do you think he's gonna finish him, and you think he's gonna finish him early?
I think it's gonna be a shock. I do. Wow. I think I'm going for the Hail Mary here. I think that Masvidal is gonna do it, and I think he's gonna do it early.
That kind of hurts my heart to hear that. That's legitimately like what I think, like the last thing that I think plausible that I think could happen. I
can explain why if you like.
I agree that he has to knock him out. Like, I don't think that you're going to outpoint a Diaz. It's not going to happen. And I don't think that cardio is going to be an issue. I think that if it's going to be a striking match, I think he has to knock him out. But I've got Diaz by submission.
Okay.
Like round 3, round 4. Masvidal starts getting tired, doesn't want to stand anymore, goes for a shot. Or we see a lot of that clinch work that he did with Pettis, puts him up against the cage, beats him up a little bit, takes him down. He threw a tremendous amount of submissions at Pettis, and Pettis just like narrowly escaped a couple of those, you know? So I got to go the exact opposite direction with you on that one, man.
Hey, man. But hey, that's what it's about. That's all right.
That's a great fight, though, right?
That's what it's about. I'll give you my quick reasons for anybody that cares to.
Please,
and maybe not.
Some 4-1-1 here.
I'll tell you this. So with everybody that shits on Conor, right? And then Conor's such a bad fighter. He's this. He's that. I don't understand. Like all of a sudden, and I know we already talked about this at length, so I don't want to push it too hard. But once Nate beat Conor, mind you, I don't know how it can be both at the same time. Either Conor is a great fighter and Nate beat him, and that raises Nate's stock, or Conor is a shitty fighter, and by Nate beating him didn't really mean a whole lot because Conor's a shitty fighter anyway. But somehow both happened. Somehow Conor's still a shitty fighter, but it raised Nate's stock. Well, it's got to be one. It's got to be one or the other. I don't think it can be both.
Well, here's how I can attempt to explain this to you. Is I don't think it was ever about Conor being a shitty fighter. Nobody, in my opinion, ever said Conor was a shitty fighter. They said Conor was hand-fed fights.
Like overrated.
Yeah, because his all of his opponents were picked for him. They were all people that would fight the style that he wanted to fight. They were all people who were shorter than him, who were going to play, who didn't understand the range game as well. They were strikers, not grapplers. Like, he was fed a line of C+ strikers his entire buildup, essentially. And then he fought Mendez and almost lost, and that was on like 10 days fucking notice, 2 weeks notice, whatever it was. And then he was supposed to fight whoever he was supposed to fight, Aldo again maybe. And then he fought Diaz on like 10 or 11 days notice. And it was proof positive that if you don't hand feed him people and give him an extended period of time to prepare for a fight, if it was just a straight up fight, he stands a much worse chance of coming out on top. He's not going to look as good. And that proved to be the second case in the Diaz rematch, because even though he won that fight, that's still debatable whether or not he won that fight. And he had months to train for that fight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you don't feed him people who buy into his game plan, he doesn't look nearly as good as people make him out to be. And I think that was the bigger argument. I don't think it was ever that he was terrible. Like, you can't deny that the guy fucking puts people away. But it would look a lot worse if he didn't put those people away, in my opinion.
Okay. I can buy. I understand what you're saying. I can buy that. I can buy that point of view. But
I still like the fact that Diaz stock went up either way. I think Conor's still forced to be reckoned with, and I hear there's some rumor in the works of him fighting Cerrone at some point in January potentially.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. That probably be at 55. And if that's at 55, I got to give that to – I still think I got to give that to
Conor?
Yeah, I really do. Just because of the range, like the style. Cowboy doesn't shoot. He's a very stand-up, very upright fighter. And he doesn't shoot much, and he really doesn't work from the clinch much. And Conor's all about range. He's all about range. So unless Cowboy just chops his fucking legs up, which I don't see him being able to do. That's going to be a tricky fight. But I think Conor can take that fight. I really do. I think he can fight.
I agree on that. I think I think somebody like Conor, who picks his shots and counter puncher style, picks his shots and everything, he's not going to like fully engage with Cowboy. And I think Cowboy is more successful when his opponent buys in and fully engages with him. That's what he wants, right? He wants that brawl. He wants to make it wild. He wants that fight.
A good scrap, no doubt about it. But it's got to be almost like too fast paced. Like it feels like he has to be like catching up at a point.
Yeah.
Whereas Conor won't play that. He'll sit back. He'll play the game. He'll fire one. He'll fire the other. He'll kind of dance side to side. He'll throw a shot, until he finds his finishing shot, we'll say, but he doesn't turn it into a firefight until he's got you hurt already. That's my opinion.
Well, I guess real quick, let's jump back to Diaz Masvidal just for a second. I got Joey Beltran's on tap. I see him already. He's signing in. The man.
Perfect.
And let's talk about the last few fights from each, right? So we have, I guess they always say everybody's as good as their last whatever fight, or whatever. Okay, so Diaz, his last few fights were the two Conor fights and then the Pettis fight. Masvidal was Till. I don't remember who was before Till. My memory is kind of broken on that, but it was Till. Then it was the Mid Askren fight, obviously with the the flying knee KO. I don't know, man. I think Masvidal has a lot more power, and he's a lot more that same attitude as Diaz in terms of like just not giving a fuck. And there's not a lot of people that are of that same nature, man. There aren't a lot of people in there, and I think that Diaz's bravado and his I don't give a fuck nature, I think it messes with a lot of people, because like even in the fights, like he's punching you, he's fucking pointing at you, laughing at you, slapping you, like it fucks with people. I don't think it's gonna fuck as much with Masvidal, because like he's kind of from that same, the guy used to fight in backyards with Kimbo and shit. I don't think that type of game plan fucks with him so much. I just don't. I don't know.
I could see that from like outside appearances, but I really feel like after watching the countdown the other day, Masvidal said something in the countdown. He said, he said, I know exactly who I'm fighting in this fight. I'm not fighting some punk on the street. I'm not fighting, some guy. I'm fighting Nathan Diaz, and when Nathan Diaz comes to fight you, he comes to fucking fight.
Yeah.
And the way that he said it, I would never say that Jorge Masvidal is scared. I would never say that. But the way that he said it almost sounded like he's buying into this East Coast, West Coast thing, and he's not sure if he's as competent as Nate is potentially. Maybe.
You think so?
I genuinely I watched it and I was like, huh. Like really, like it genuinely made me stop and think for a second. Like, I wonder what he meant by that. Like, there sounded like legitimate doubt in his mind. Now he went on to say that that means that he's training harder than he's ever trained and so on and so forth. But I think with all of that said, I think that Nate is in his head. That he went out and had a performance like he had, and then Nate's like, yeah, like I want it. Like, come on, like I want that smoke. Let's go. Like I think that it was. I choose to believe that Nate is in his head, and
okay,
and that things are gonna work out in my favor.
Hey man, you might be right, but that's all right. We're on opposite sides of the fence on that, but that's all right.
I'm cool with it.
Let's pause this because we will get back to it. We got Joey Beltran on tap, the Executioner. Guys, don't go away. We'll be right back in about 30 seconds with the Executioner. There he is, Joey Beltran, Executioner. What's up, brother?
Is it daytime where you're at? What is going on here?
Can you hear us, Joey? Oh, hold on, man. Hold on. Unmute your mic, brother. Can you hear me? Unmute your mic. Can you hear us? Can you hear
it up?
Can you hear me, brother? Unmute your mic. Your mic. No.
How about now?
There you go. We got it. Joey Beltran, what's going on, brother?
I'm doing good, man. I'm fucking trying to catch the right angle in my car. There you go. Without the glare. That's better.
Hey, that looks nice, man. You're in like what, sunny California, right?
Yeah, Oceanside, baby.
Oceanside.
That's bullshit. It's fucking snowing at my house, man.
Joey, man, we were just well, maybe we'll talk about it later, man. But we were just talking about the Diaz and Masvidal fight coming up. But we'll talk about that later. But let's talk about your fight you got coming up with Chase Sherman, man. When did you know you were fighting Chase Sherman for the belt?
Well, the thing is that I had an idea that it was going to happen for a while now, but then it was like, okay, there was something. Chase Sherman might have been doing like an MMA fight somewhere else, and David Feldman does us a solid as prize fighters. Like, he'll let us go out and fight MMA. So there was an issue with that. And there was a couple weeks where I thought I was fighting Sam Schumacher instead. Actually, go way back. I forgot. Go way back. And I was supposed to fight a gentleman by the name of Jimmy Jeanette, who beat Tony Lopez at BKFC 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then it turned into, okay, well, actually, no, we might want you to fight for the title. And then it became, okay, it's Sam Schumacher because Chase can't make it. But then, like, about 2 weeks ago, it got finalized, so. Overall, I've been fucking fighting, so I've been training my ass off.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on the title fight.
Oh, yeah, man. I'm fucking pumped. I'm pumped.
Good.
Man, well, tell us, man, because I noticed, and I don't know if you changed anything, man, but your fight with Jamie Campbell, I don't know what it was. There was something different about you, like good in a good way. I mean, was there anything that you changed or anything that you changed? I don't know. I can't quite put my finger on it. I know that you were, God, correct me if I'm wrong, man. Like you were talking like a mental, not mental coach, but like a
Yeah,
positive. Is that the right term?
mental coach.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, talk about it, man. Like, what changes did you make before that fight? I mean, is that spot on? Like, did you feel different going into that fight?
Absolutely. I felt I had rehearsed it. I had written it out. I had scripted the fight. Almost, it was fucking freaky. Like after the fight, like I was like, oh fuck, dude. That was like almost to the fucking moment, to the actual finish. And I just, visualization and just like I've been fighting all over the world for 12 years, man. I never thought to do that. Never thought to get a and the way it had happened was kind of by chance because I was going through some really rough times with my ex-wife. We were towards the end of our relationship, and she's like, "You need to go see. You need to talk to somebody. You're crazy. You're this. You're that." And I was like, "All right." And coincidentally, like the guy Kaleb Rogers, his name on Instagram is the Mental Sensei, and he works with a few other like high level guys in San Diego that I know of and I respect. So I was like, okay, like I know, okay, I'm gonna try this guy out. So I told my ex-wife, I was all right, I'm talking to this guy, blah blah blah, and shit actually ended up like going all the way down and spiraling out of control with my ex-wife and everything, and he fucking like helped me process that, helped me get through that without even talking about the goddamn fight, man. Like just making sure that I could get through days of training, like without killing somebody, without flying off
Yeah.
the handle.
Right.
And
Yeah, that makes a big difference.
fuck yeah, man. And then like leading up to the fight, like as we got closer to the fight, and I was fully transitioned out of my old house, and everything like it kept everything like, okay, what's the game? What's our goal? What's our game plan? What can we control? Well, we can't control people, places, and we can't control people, places, and things, and outside influences. How all we can control is how we react to those situations. Like, and it's
Yeah.
okay to be sad. It's okay to be upset. Okay, but there's no such thing as positive energy or negative energy. There's only energy. There's only energy. So we got to funnel that energy into our hitting our goal. So, yeah, man, this will be my third fight working with him. I'm on fire. Like I'm ready to go get my title, man.
You seem very energized. You seem very full of machismo right now. Like you're ready to go.
Yeah, I'm putting in work. I'm getting like ridiculous. I'm so blessed, man. High quality fucking pro level sparring, boxing sparring. Like, like a guy by the name of Michael Hunter who's fighting on the undercard of Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua. I think he's top 10 heavyweight. He was an Olympian in fucking 2012. Another guy named Alex Garcia, who's a 6'5" heavyweight, 18-1. Just crazy. Like, and I'm out there like just an MMA guy, just doing my thing. But I'm comfortable with who I am, and like I know I'm not gonna fucking become a refined boxer overnight. And I just go and I implement my game, and like they're like, what the fuck? Like they're like, we've never had sparring like you. Like you just keep coming. I was like, yeah, man, that's all I know how to do. Like
Definitely.
keep my
Yeah,
head moving.
that's that
Keep
MMA
moving forward.
mentality. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's good, man. I'm really happy. Really happy, ready to go.
Bro, I tell you what, man. Just hearing you talk about it, man. It's I feel the energy from you, brother. Like I feel the positive. Well, if positive energy doesn't exist, but I tell you what, man. Like I just feel it, brother. Like you seem more just something, man. And like you said, it's just you've been working with this guy. It's obviously working for you, man. Because like I can tell the difference because we talked to you a bunch leading into BKFC 4, in Cancun, and we talked to you a few times and just kind of chatting with you a few times there and after the fight and stuff like that. I've just noticed just such a huge difference just since then, man. So whatever you're doing, brother, like keep doing it, man. If it's working for you, do it, man. Because that's like you said, even more than the fight, man. Just like day-to-day life. If it makes your day-to-day life better, you can't you can't ask for more than that, man.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and I'm in a good environment. I'm back. I'm back coaching. You know, working in gyms, like what I love to do, and it also helps like process things. Like when I do something or I go over something that I learned in sparring from watching my film of sparring or hit and miss with my coach, and I'm like, oh, I pick up on something, then I'll immediately go into class and like teach it to the kids, teach it to the people in the class. So it's like I'm double learning it and really soaking it all in. So it's working good, man.
What did you think of Chase Sherman's fight with Arnold Adams?
I think that Arnold Adams, like, I was watching it thinking, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're gonna lose. Like, I could see like the scorecards, like there's one for like, and it wasn't like Chase was hurting him. Oh, he hurt him that last round. I was like, he hurt him that last body shot. And I remember from my fight with Arnold, like I landed a couple clean, hard shots to the body, and afterwards he told me, he's like, dude, if you would have hit me again, I would have had to take a seat. And so when I saw Chase do it, I was like, God damn it. And you know, but I was like, I don't know. I really think if Arnold could get that one back, he has the skills to win. But I mean, that was Chase's night.
Yeah, I think Chase did a real good job at recognizing that Arnold likes to set traps. He'll let you feel comfortable, and he'll bait you into standing in front of him, and then he'll slip and rip, and he'll start countering you. And Chase was never there. He'd get in, he'd hit him a few times, and he'd get back out. He'd get in, he'd hit him a few times, and he'd get back out. And he was never there for the counter. And Arnold just wasn't able to keep up at that point. You know, he gave away too many rounds, essentially.
Yeah.
It was a really good performance by Chase. Definitely really good performance by Chase.
I mean, like Arnold would make a miss. He would make a miss. He was like, I'm like, all right, well, go fucking get him.
Right, yeah.
I remember watching. I was coming back. I was coming back from my MMA fight that I just did recently out in Russia. And I was in the fucking Moscow airport, like yelling at my phone, like, what the fuck are you doing?
You know what? If you don't mind, can you touch? Because didn't you like, if I remember like reading something about that, like wasn't it for like a Russian ambassador or some shit, or like the Russian some government?
Okay,
or
so no, man, it was supposed to be for Putin himself.
Yeah.
And it was, and so like we went through the metal detectors. They held our passports and everything, like the whole double extra security. And then like at the last second, they came into the locker rooms. They're like, "Well, Mr. Putin's not gonna come," and I'm in the back like, "Good, all right, fucking start the show, man." I didn't come here to visit Putin. I came to fucking fight and get my money.
Right.
And so like, come to find out, there was like, he didn't go because there was like some like out of bounds like testing of nuclear missiles or something that was happening in like, yeah, it was like some heavy shit. I'm like, they didn't fucking tell us.
Yeah. What are your not to look past Chase Sherman, because I get that part, but like, what are your bare knuckle goals, man? Let's just say, you get this fight with Chase Sherman, it goes your way. Like, what are your goals, man? Like, are you in this? Like, is this to stick with bare knuckle for the long haul? I mean, I know this is like what, your third fight, fourth fight, right? Fifth fight. My bad. Fifth fight. Yeah. Like, is this what you plan on doing? I mean,
the thing is like, I'm a prize fighter.
Yeah.
And right now, bare knuckle is paying me the biggest prize.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine if God willing, I win that fight. That's the last fight on my contract. They're gonna show me some money, and then fucking, hey man, I'm gonna ride with bare knuckle. I mean, for me, like training camps, it's easier, man. Like fuck, dude, wrestling and jiu-jitsu, that shit's hard. Especially like on my old body, like, dude, I'll take a fucking bare knuckle punch to the face over fucking a 2-hour wrestling practice any day. And that's just all respect to fucking wrestling. Like, wrestling fucking hurts. People want to think, oh, like bare knuckle fighting hurts. Like, no, motherfucker, go do some fucking wrestling and jiu-jitsu and then wake up the next day. Like, that shit hurts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a big difference between a 90-minute jiu-jitsu workout and a 90-minute boxing workout.
Yeah.
Big difference.
It's just different. Like, So like the thing is about like boxing, it's like for me, like what hurts is like my elbows, my wrists, my shoulders, but like my quote unquote problem areas, like my injuries that actually weren't from competing, were from fucking high school football, or my two blown out ACLs.
Yeah.
So I don't got to deal with that shit in bare knuckle boxing.
Right.
Yeah.
I hear you, brother. Let's get ready. Let me get the final question on this is your thoughts on Artem versus Jason Knight, number 2, the rematch.
It is what it is. I think I'm a little salty that the heavyweight title is not the main event, but whatever.
You know what? I agree with you 1,000% because I'm kind of the old call it the pro wrestling mindset. The title should be at the end of the card. The title should always I get like the Paulie Artem thing, but the title is the most important thing. You need to make it the most important part of the card. Because I feel like I feel like it kind of shits on the belt itself. It's that belt needs to be bigger than a non-title fight. 1,000%. I'm right there with you, my friend.
Like I will say this, it's like I don't know, because I know from experience of having a crazy bloodbath fight, and then you show up to the second fight and you expect to do the same, and then the other person's not cooperating. Then you have a fucking end up having a bullshit ass, boring ass draw like me and Tony Lopez had our second one. I showed up in Mexico ready to fucking face hell, ready to walk through hell. And I remember and he credit to him, because he faked me out in the interviews leading up to it. All he was saying is like, I have to finish him. I know I can't get a decision.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna come for the finish. So I'm in my head, I'm like, fucking bring it, motherfucker, let's do it. And it wasn't until the end of the second round I was like, fuck, he's running. He's fucking running and trying to use his jab. Like, I was like, shit, I have to fucking run after him. I have to go get him. And like, we ended up with that lame ass split draw, But so I don't know. We'll see if Artem or Jason Knight try to play smart and fucking take the win, or if they fucking say fuck it and we have Bloodbath Part 2.
That's very true. That's a good point, man. Because I asked Jason about that, about the everybody, and the same goes with you and Tony. There was so many expectations, and there were so many, like you said, people were expecting that same bloodbath, and it's just a different fight, right? It was a different fight the second time. A lot of people are expecting that with Jason and Artem. I don't know, man. I mean, it could be the same type of bloodbath, dogfight, but
wasn't that like the third or the fourth time that you and Tony had fought each other?
Yeah, fourth time.
Fourth time, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you guys fought MMA twice, and then that was your second bare knuckle, brother. So, well, I tell you what, man, Joey, we appreciate your time, man, and I cannot fucking wait for you and Chase Sherman. I mean, I am pumped. It should headline the card. No offense to anybody else, no offense to Artem or Jason, but I think the title has to be the most important part of the card. That's my opinion. I agree with you 1,000%, man. But guys, BKFC number 9, Biloxi, November 16th on pay-per-view and Fight TV. We appreciate your time so much, brother, and we'll be in touch soon.
Hell yeah, guys. Have a good one.
Have a good one, brother.
Rooting for you, Joey.
Man, guys, we got Harris the Sandman Stephenson and Kaleb Harris kind of waiting in the wings. We appreciate their patience so very much. We're going to take a quick little 30-second break, Tom Shoaf, and we will be right back. You'll be here. I hope you are, man. We'll be right back with Harris Stephenson. Hey, everybody, don't forget to check out MyBookie Sportsbook and Casino, America's most trusted sportsbook in 2019. You can look at betting lines and place bets in bare knuckle and MMA. Don't forget to use our referral code down below for a 50% sign-up bonus. That's MyBookie Sportsbook and Casino. The Sandman, what's up, brother?
Oh man, not much. What's going on? Just got back trick-or-treating with the girls. So
how was that, man? How was the weather your way? Because here I'm out of Virginia, and it's rainy, man. It's like weird weather. Everybody did the what the hell they call it, like the trunk or treat, where everybody
trunk or treat,
Yeah, everybody kind of did that. How was it your way?
Oh man, it's been raining the last 2 days. So we thought today was going to be the same. Woke up and it was real stormy, real hot actually. And then after the rain stopped, right about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, it got cold. So now it's cold for us. It's probably in the 60s, which is not probably cold to y'all, but down here in South Mississippi, it's pretty chilly. So, but yeah, man, it's good weather now. It's dry. So everybody's out trick or treating, having a good old time. Just bundled up a little bit more than usual.
Brother, the colder the better for me, man. I can't stand anything above 60. I can't stand. I
Oh
can't
yeah.
stand.
Well, I was more acquainted to the heat before I got with my wife, and then my wife, I'm used to like the AC being set at like 76, and
Oh,
that was comfortable for me. And my
oh,
wife, she'll put it down to 69 at nighttime and
yes,
70
sir.
during the day, and I'm dying. I was
Yes,
sitting there
sir.
bundled up in jackets when I first got with her. So
That's funny. No, I'm that way. I'm always constantly. My wife is the opposite. She turns it up because she likes to save money on the electric bill, and I get that. It's my money too. But I'm always turning it, especially at night, because I like to sleep in the cold. So I'm always constantly
yeah.
turning that bitch back down, turning it back down, and within like an hour, I'll walk up. I'm like, what the hell's going on? It feels warm, and it's already back up. So, um, brother, so we heard you got a fight coming up, man.
Yes,
Kenny,
sir.
and I don't want to mispronounce his last name, Kenny Lacia, I guess, is that right? Um,
Yeah, that's the way I've heard it pronounced.
talk about it, man. Talk about the fight and how did this fight come about, and how long, how's the camp going? How long have you had a chance to prepare for it?
Uh, I found out about the fight probably a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and
Okay.
I finally got a named opponent. I knew I was going to be on 9 since 7 didn't happen. I knew that the first opportunity came back to Biloxi, the first opportunity that they had in Tampa, I was trying to get on that card too.
Yeah.
So I've honestly never quit training since the BKFC 7 debacle with the weight issue. So I've stayed in camp. I feel better than ever right now. I feel I actually watched Tom Schoaf's interview a little while back whenever he was training for I think it was his rematch with Diego.
Okay.
And said that he got into weight training and stuff. And I'd actually just started doing the same thing. So I've actually altered my program and went from just training boxing and footwork and old school to I've incorporated the weights and stuff, but I kind of dialed it back from lifting heavy to doing more speed and lightweight, high rep stuff. So I feel like I have my power back now, and I feel like I'm a lot quicker and a lot more precise too. So I feel excited for the fight. I know that Kenny Lacia, he doesn't have too much boxing experience, but he does have a heavy right hand. I've seen him land at least 2 solid KOs with just a wild overhand right. It's kind of unorthodox. He was a pitcher in college, so he kind of throws it like he's a pitcher. So, I mean, it's quick, but he kind of winds it up a little bit. So just got to watch out for that joker, and I think I'll be all right.
That's an interesting. I never thought about that, like a baseball pitcher getting into like boxing or any type of striking. That's an interesting crossover. I guess it does kind of translate, right? All that.
I'm pretty sure that's where Schumacher claims he gets his power from. Is he was a pitcher when he was in high school, and I don't know if he went to college, but pretty sure he was a pitcher when he was younger as well.
Yeah.
Something to think about.
Interesting. I guess it's something about that, right? Because I guess when you're pitching, it's like those fast twitch muscle fibers, right? Because I guess that same kind of, I don't know, man. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
I mean, you're driving off the back foot. You're winding forward. I mean, the mechanics are very similar to throwing a punch as they would be for pitching off of a pitcher's mound. You wedge your foot into that pitcher's mound. You drive off the back foot just like you do with a cross. Your body torques. Like, the mechanics are very similar. So if you've got a really fast pitch, chances are you're probably going to have a fairly powerful punch just because your mechanics are similar. That makes sense to me.
Interesting.
Right. I agree.
Well, I mean, you kind of touched on it, but I was going to ask about your opponent, Kenny. He's coming, like you said, from like a more of an MMA esque background. I mean, what do you think, man? I won't ask you to give him tips because that's sharing with the enemy. But I mean, what do you think, man? What do you think about how do people do, man? Like their bare knuckle debuts. Like, what was the biggest thing for you coming into bare knuckle?
Man, I'm a really mental fighter. I never fought growing up. I was a nerd. I kept to myself. I was real quiet. So I just got into fighting after I graduated high school because I was always in sports, just kind of keep me busy. Wasn't really good at anything, but I was mediocre and got to play, and kept me off the streets. And I never had many friends because I was a nerd. So I just stayed busy playing sports. So I got into MMA, started training, and liked it, and decided I wanted to compete. 8 months later, and got knocked out in front of 4,000 people. Then I fell in love with it because just the adrenaline rush of being prepared for a fight that I'd never been in my life, and did it in front of 4,000 people, and the Coliseum at that, where we're fighting in 2 weeks. So I was nervous, and I feed off that nervous energy. And I think that anytime you go into a new sport, you're going to have more of that nervous energy, especially bare knuckles. People freak out when they hear that you don't have gloves on. They worry about breaking their hands. They worry about cuts. They worry about all these different things. And then to throw in the fact that you're starting 3 feet in front of each other, I think that has a big mental gap on a lot of people, because they usually, you build yourself up. I did, at least when I was coming into MMA. I'd always, we came to the center, we had a little meeting with the ref, and he gave us a little spill about abide my rules, whatever. I go back and always punch the top of the ring just to kind of throw my nervous jitters. All right, here we go. That was always my ritual. Now we're starting 3 feet in front of each other. So when I walked off the cage and started coming in, I was always getting myself prepared, having that couple seconds before we actually engaged in battle. Now we're right in front of each other. So you don't have that time. So I think that that's going to affect a lot of people that are coming off MMA or boxing that haven't just started right in front of each other throwing. And so I think that just the mental aspects of it are going to affect them. I don't think that the bare knuckle itself is going to really affect them. Because it didn't, coming from MMA, the change of having 4-ounce gloves to nothing to a little bit of wrap is didn't make that big of a difference. So punching feels different, mainly receiving, because there's been a couple times when I was fighting Kaleb Harris, he hit me right in the eye, and my eye went completely black. And I just had to kind of play it off like I could see, and I was throwing blank jabs because I couldn't see what I was throwing at, but I was just trying to keep him at bay until I got my eyesight back. But just because his knuckles having to go right in my eye socket, I couldn't see. So that kind of freaked me out for a minute. You just have to keep your composure and roll with the punches. So
fighting in your hometown, does it make you more comfortable, or does it kind of add a little bit of pressure because you're fighting in front of friends and family?
It adds more pressure, but I'm the idiot that likes thriving under pressure. I like putting the scrutiny on myself. I like having that extra weight on my shoulders. I feel like I perform the best when I'm under a lot of pressure. Yeah. Like you have some guys that perform the best in the gym because that's where they're comfortable. That's where they perform. And some guys, and then when they get in the ring, they don't perform to the absolute best, but they perform well, but just not as their top game that they do in the gym. Then you have guys like me that I perform decent in the gym, but then when I get in the ring, I just have that added pressure. I feel like I perform better.
Sorry, man. There was like a glitch. Sorry about that. It was like a weird glitch.
No,
man. I tell you what, man. How do you think? You made your debut at BKFC 2. Am I right? Yeah, BKFC 2. I had to search through the memory banks. It's not so good. It's not as good as it used to be. How have you seen, man? How have you seen the company and the sport grow just since then? Because that's just a little over a year ago, 13, 14 months ago. I mean. How have you seen it grow from your eyeballs, and where do you see it going in the future?
Man, it's grown like a snowball rolling downhill, man. It's just picked up momentum and just kept growing and growing. When I first got into it, I was the only guy from Mississippi to be on the card. Now you got UFC vets, Jason Knight, UFC vet Chase Sherman. You got other guys from down here getting on the cards, and other guys that already had their names made with other organizations, and then you have other big sign-ins coming in from other organizations, I mean, they're talking about signing Vandalay. I don't know if he ever signed a fight or not, but I mean, just names like that, just your old school draws that are just going to bring more attention to the sport and get people just to get that one first show. If they can just get one show under the belt that they actually get to see, they'll be hooked. I mean, because it's action-packed fights. So I think that's just going to keep continuing to grow momentum. And as the more states allow it and their organizations, I mean, I don't see why this can't take off in the next 5 years, be much higher than any boxing around.
I know Dave Feldman was talking about like Alabama, Kansas. I mean, he was talking about several other states that they're trying to go to next year.
I've been talking to some commissioners here in Indiana, and they're trying to pull it in too. Yeah, it's trying to go places.
Yeah, I'm pumped, man. He's talking about 12 to 15 shows next year, if not more. He's saying at least 12 to 15. I'm so excited, man. I'm excited to see this sport grow. I'm excited for the company. Just in general, man. Like all you guys are fucking. I tell you, I've got so much respect for all you fucking guys. I mean, I really do. I really do. I can't speak. I can't talk enough about it. I really can't. How's it going down, man? You tell me. How's it going down against Kenny?
Man, I don't want to give out too much, but I'm going to say this. I saw he struggled a little bit with southpaw, and I've always played with southpaw. Me and Jason Knight, that's something we used to always do to kind of mess with each other. Because me and Jason Knight have been sparring for better part of 10 years, you know. So I knew Jason since he was a kid when he was actually the kid. And so, I mean, one of the things he used to do to mess with people was turn southpaw, and people just didn't know how to handle it because we didn't have too many southpaw fighters in our gym. And so I'd always trade with him, and I'd go southpaw, and I'd figured out how to use it. So I've been using it a little bit more this camp because I saw that he struggled with southpaw. So I might throw that in the mix. I don't know, but I think it's going to be within 3 rounds. I'll say it that way, one way or the other. I might go out. I'm not going to say I'm going to knock him out, whatever. I say that it's going to be an action-packed fight, and within those first 3 rounds, something's going to happen.
I like it, man. I fucking like it. Well, since I guess you're a good guy to ask about it, you know, we were asking just kind of everybody about it. Is your thoughts on the Jason Artem fight? I mean, since you're so close to Jason, what do you think, man? How do you see it going down? You think I'm kind of reluctant. I don't know if it goes down the same way. I think it's going to be. I think maybe both guys. I don't know, man. I think it's going to be a little different. I think maybe they might kind of be going for a quick finish. I don't think it's going to go the whole 5 rounds. I just had that feeling. I don't know who. I don't know who. I can't put my finger on who, but I just don't think it's going to be the same dogfight it was.
I think it's going to be the same dogfight. I just don't know if it's going to be as long of that dogfight because I know Jason personally has been working on some holes in his game and picking up holes in Artem's game, which I know Artem's been doing the same thing but reversed. So I think that they're still going to want the dogfight because that's what Jason is. Jason loves that mentality. I mean, Jason always in the gym, he wants somebody to trade with him. He bullies people into getting in that mentality of just wanting to stand and trade. And he's now gotten in that mentality of standing and trading, but now he's also working his angles. So I think that's worked heavily in his favor. And I think that his chin has proved to be tested with Artem's best shots. And I think Artem's tested against Jason's, but I think that at the end of that fight, Artem looked a little bit more out of it than Jason did. So I think if Jason can up his strength a little bit, I think that fight ends a little bit earlier. And I think it goes in Jason's favor.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think that Paulie Malignaggi fight was any sort of evidence as to where Artem's talent has gone since the Jason Knight fight, and knowing how hungry Jason is. If Artem comes in with the same performance that he had against Paulie, Jason's going to eat him up. Like quick. I feel the same way. I feel like Jason's really hungry for this fight and he really wants his redemption. And if the Paulie fight was any tell towards Artem's performance, it's going to be Jason's night all the way.
100%. I think Knight feels like he got robbed of that last one. So I think that added into this. And then Jason's doing something I've never seen him do in the 10 plus years I've known him, and that's strength and conditioning. So, I mean, he's actually going into doing stuff to help his performance all the way around. And he knows he needs a little bit more power in his punches to put Artem away. So I think he's going to make it happen.
That's good to hear. Good for him.
I'm just pumped for the fight, man. I'm pumped for the fight. I'm pumped for your fight, brother. So we can't wait. BKFC number 9. I can't believe I'm saying 9. BKFC number 9 in Biloxi, November 16th on pay-per-view and Fight TV. Mr. Harris,
Yes,
Sandman Stephenson, we appreciate your time so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Sir, I appreciate y'all having me.
Hey, brother, anytime. Good luck to you, man, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you soon.
Absolutely, man. Y'all have a good one. Good seeing you guys. Good
All right,
seeing you,
brother.
Tom.
Be safe, man.
Later, brother.
Later, brother. All right, man. I'll tell you what. We got Kaleb Harris waiting in the wings here. Let me bring him on. He has been patiently waiting.
He's been in there for a little bit, huh?
Yeah, he sure has, man. Let me go ahead and
Motherfucker showing up early. Overachiever.
There he is. There he is. What's up, brother?
Yo.
What's up, guys?
What's
Hey,
happening?
man. Thanks for patiently waiting. I saw you down there. We just had to run through everybody. So I appreciate it, man.
We got done with our classes over here at Primal Martial Arts, and I knew I wasn't gonna be able to make it back home before y'all had me on, so I just came out to the car, figured I'd listen to whoever else y'all had on.
There you go. There you go, brother.
Just a heads up, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's my service, but this thing's done kicked me off like 3 times in the last like 20 minutes. So,
well, you're out there in the country, right? That's what I mean. Yeah, you guys are out there in the country, brother. Well, I mean, talk to us, man. I guess we'll that way we'll get some questions before you get kicked out, man. But last time we saw you, you had the old KO heard around the world, man. And what's it been like since then, man?
Man, honestly, I mean, my teammates give me a lot of shit now. Like, we got some students that I'm real good friends with now here at Primal. They always messing with me during class when I'm teaching, calling me the superstar and stuff. I got other fighter teammates that they'll get the little jives in, or I'll say someday, oh, we better listen to him. He got 1.2 million views, just messing with me. But all in all, man, it's pretty much been same old, except now I can't take any of my buddies into a gas station anywhere because he immediately starts telling everybody that I'm famous and that they need to go look me up. And I'm like, I'm just over here like this cashier the other day was just looking at me like, do you even really know him? I was like, yes, he's my buddy, but like, you don't have to go look me up. But if you do, I spell it with a K. So, but for the most part, man, it's just been fun. It's been a new experience. Coming to realize that I've been looking forward to this moment my whole life in my career, and there's certain moments in your life where like you take that next step. Yeah. And you realize that things are actually still moving. You're not still stuck in the same place. And for me, that knockout meant more than just I got 1 million views. It showed the world that I've stepped up a level in my training. Yeah. Because that was my 20th fight, and I've never had a knockout. I finished a fighter every way known to man in the ring except for a knockout until that night.
I mean, what have you done differently, man? Because it was an amazing performance, man. And what did you change up? Is it just something you think, just maybe an accumulation, and maybe it's just now it's just kind
of. First of all, shout out to Harris Stephenson because I'm the same way as him when we fought. I've never been in a bare fist fight in my life. I grew up the geek. I played Pokemon, as a kid. I collected the cards. I was the nerd. I mean,
yep.
Oh, there he goes.
Well,
he'll be back, folks. We had the same problem with Jason Knight. They're out in the sticks, man. You gotta
like.
It is what it
angry.
is. It is what we'll
get
him back.
Done. He's fucking angry. He's ready to step up his training. Start fucking dudes up.
There he is, brother.
Like I said, I told you, it's out here.
It's all right. It's all right.
But no, like when I fought Harris, I didn't know what to expect. I'd never been hit bare fist before. Coming out of that fight, the second I walked out of there with a split decision loss, I was already telling my coach and them I wanted to do it again. Yeah. I was going to get stitches in the back while Artem and Jason were fighting, and all I could think about was when can I get back in and do it again? How long is it going to take to heal? And I came back in and we prepared more like a boxer. I started focusing on my head movement more. I've always been the guy to stand in the pocket. I'll bang with you left and right. I'm not scared to fight anybody. But in bare knuckle, you can do that, but you're going to end up with every fight being a Jason and Artem fight. And I ain't that pretty, but I can't take too many more, just split opens in the face. So I'd rather, if I can go out and finish them without having to take too much damage, I'm going to do that. But I'm not going to run in a fight. I'm going to always bring the pressure. Just like in my last fight with Vastani, I never let up pressure off of him.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. So you're facing Drew Lipton, but you were actually supposed to face somebody else, right? Before.
Well, Combat Insiders gets the first dibs on this information. I was originally supposed to face Travis Kramer out of Pennsylvania.
Okay.
He got suspended. He was suspended by Pennsylvania Athletic Commission, and so that fight wasn't. They weren't able to get it lifted. So Drew Lipton stepped in.
Okay.
3 days later, I get a message. Drew Lipton is on a suspension from Kansas, and they're trying to work to get that lifted. And I actually received confirmation today by David Feldman and Nate Shook. I will be fighting Jeff.
No! Are you kidding me? Jeff who?
That's funny. Oh man,
that was the funniest time to do that. You're like, Jeff, click.
Okay, so it's Jeff Chiffins. He fought for WBKF or whatever that promotion was.
Okay.
And he's like 1-0. But I got hit up with him 2 days ago and was told that they wanted to fight at 162. And I'm like, why have I got to cut more weight for somebody to fight me? Like, if he wants to fight, let's fight. And so they came back with like, well, can you meet at 164? I'm like, yeah, sure. Let's do 164 with 1 pound leniency. So again, we're fighting at 65. It almost felt like somebody's barking in a garage sale and feels like they won because they got it for 50 cents less than what I asked for. But it is what it is. Me and Jeff's going to fight at 164. And I'm telling y'all get ready because y'all thought the last fight was an amazing fight. Just wait till y'all see what I do this one.
Yeah, I was gonna say because Drew, the fight with Drew was supposed to be at 165, right?
Right. That pretty much. I've laid claim to the 165s. I've fought 55 for my my whole MMA career except for like once.
Yeah.
And when they opened up an actual 165 division, and me and Isaac's really been pushing for the 165ers to have a tournament for a title. I think that would be great. But that's mostly just because I want to fight. But I don't know. Maybe he just had the wrong information, thinking that I fought at a lighter weight and I was agreeing to 165 or whatever. But I was actually looking forward to fighting Drew. He brings it. I mean, he's got my respect because he'll take a fight at a moment's notice.
Yeah. No, 100%, and he's always, just from what I've seen, he's always been one of those guys that win, lose, or draw, he's going to bring it to you the same way. Whether he wins or loses, it's the same. You're getting the same guy, just pressing forward and pressing the action, man. So, no, my hat's off to him, man. He's got my respect, 100%. So I'm kind of curious to hear what happened, but I'm sure we'll get that news at some point, man. But I don't know, man. What do you think about this? Since you're in the same neighborhood, and of course you just disappeared again. Brother.
He's like, "Fuck you! I don't want to listen to you anymore."
He's like, "I'm out."
That's what I had to say. I'm gonna beat this motherfucker's ass. Anybody at 165 can get it. Peace.
That's it.
Usually, apparently, because this didn't. I'm at the same place we did the last interview, and this did not happen.
Brother, don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it, man.
That's all. The tower just got shifted.
Yeah, the power it just got shifted, brother. So, man, let's talk about real quick. I guess before you cut out again, because I'm asking everybody. I got Joey's take on it. I got Harris's take on it. you're close with Jason Knight. I mean, how do you see this going with him and Artem, the rematch?
Well, I'm not as close with Jason Knight. I actually haven't trained with. I mean, we spoke at fights.
Okay.
I haven't trained with Knight since I was like 16.
Okay.
Me and my buddy, we used to travel down there to Allen's and train a good bit. Don't get me wrong, Jason Knight's a great guy.
Okay.
I won't claim that I know him like Harris knows him.
Understood.
But I've always rooted for the Mississippi boys. We always come to fight. And especially when you come to our hometown in our backwoods, we throw down. And I guess if they're gonna keep putting me on the Biloxi, I'm gonna have to start staking a claim in Biloxi as well as my hometown. Because it ain't gonna end well for nobody that fights me. But with Jason and Artem, I'm kind of with like you said, it's not gonna be a long fight. But I got Jason on it. I think Jason came away from that fight realizing that he's got the power to stand in the pocket and fight.
Yeah.
But now he needs to add the angles. And I think if he starts adding angles early on and making Artem miss and lands some good shots, I think he's going to put Artem down.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean that's a good argument. Yeah, if he started adding angles, be a little more elusive instead of just kind of that trade and bang kind of thing that he's known for, man. I mean, that could be what does the trick. Because I know a lot of people thought he won the first fight. It's very split.
Unfortunately, I can't be one of those people to say that because I was in the back getting stitches, and I literally was arguing with the doc, like, dude, can we please do this after this fight? Like, I had a bottle of scotch in my hand telling him, I will give you drinks if you will just let me go watch this fight before you stitch me. And he's like, you'll thank me later when it heals up because I didn't go fast. I'm like, you're really fixing to find out what another fight looks like. Like, man, I don't. That's the one thing, if I can say, that I enjoyed about my last fight for BKFC 7, fighting on the undercard. I hope after this one I've proved that I don't belong on the undercard, but I did enjoy after my fight. I got to go sit out and watch the fights. Like, I knew that no matter what happened with my fight, if I got bloodied up or what, within the second or third fight after that, I was going to be sitting out there drinking shots and watching the fights. And so that's the only good thing about fighting early on cards.
True story.
That sounds good, brother. Hey, what's funny? I've heard a lot of people I've talked to, they all say that they actually prefer fighting earlier because, like you said, that gives them a chance to chill out and watch the rest of the fight. So I guess each of their own, man. But
I'm impatient, man. I ain't got no patience when it comes. I'm ready. If we could fight as soon as the rules meeting was over with, I'd be ready to go. Like, I hate
I'm right there with you, man. I'm right there with you. I sit around at the hotel and I'm like, fuck, it's only noon. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Like, that sitting around waiting all day, shit's gotta go. It's like, let's wake up.
Like, your head starts getting into you. Like, it's like you gotta constantly, like, once I'm in the ring, man, the real me is out. Like, I've told people before, like, I'm a nice guy. I'm one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. But, like, in that ring, that's the real Kaleb. That's the Kaleb that don't give two shits about anybody, anything else that's going on in the world. I don't care about any life problems anybody's got. It's me and the other guy, and it's kill or be killed. And that's and that's what I love about this sport is you can let go of everything else. Yeah. And like Tom said, sitting in the hotel and it's like, are you kidding me? It's freaking noon. And like, so I'm having to constantly find something to keep my mind distracted. But it's not like you can get up and go walk around because then your legs are tired by the time you get ready to fight. It's like, so you're literally sitting in a hotel room, like just watching hotel TV.
Well, let me ask you this, because me and Tom were talking about this before. And last time I asked, I got yelled at for this. I want to get your thoughts. I want to get your thoughts on UFC real quick this weekend, if you don't mind. The Masvidal Diaz fight.
All right, I'm gonna tell y'all just like I told Christopher when it was Diaz versus Pettis. You never count out my boy Diaz. Now, don't get me wrong, Masvidal is a gangster, but Diaz is the original gangster, and I seriously see I see it being a long fight. I don't see it ending quickly. I really don't. A lot of people are saying it's either going to go quick one way or the other, but I see Nate taking some damage like he always does. He's a bleeder, but I see it eventually ending up to where
Boom.
No, I need to know.
What?
Why? I need to know, Tom Show. I need to know.
You gotta wait 40 seconds, bro. 40 seconds. It's like every time he gets to the point,
it like cuts out.
Nah. Motherfucker.
We'll give him a second here. He probably got frustrated and threw the phone down too. At that point,
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Driving. Fuck this thing.
He might be. We'll give him a second. Man, another Diaz. What's wrong? Is there something wrong with me, man? I just don't. I can't see. I don't see what you guys are seeing. I mean, I truly.
I think it's just we've been fans of Diaz for so long. Like, and I have. There's not anything in my head that says that Masvidal can't knock out Nate. Like, I know that's a possibility.
You just think the possibility of Nate.
I think the likelihood.
Here he is. We're gonna bring him back real quick. We're gonna bring him back real quick.
Nah.
All right, finish your thoughts, Kaleb. You were talking about Nate, was your boy.
It's going to get to the ground. I think Masvidal is probably going to have the advantage standing, but it's going to end up on the ground, and I think Diaz is going to end up catching a submission. I can't tell you when. I'm in a fantasy league, so I'm going to have to eventually pick this car. I got to eventually sit down and pick this. So I'm going to say Diaz by submission in the – is it going to be 3 or 5 rounds with this being the BMF? I say Diaz by submission in the 4th round.
That's what I said too. Yeah.
I tell you what, man. I was just telling him I don't get it. I got Maz here. Okay. Here's what I'll say. I think Masvidal is going to finish Nate I think it's going to be a shocker. I think he's actually going to finish Nate. I think it's going to be quick. Now, in the event that it makes it out of the 2nd round, I think the longer it goes, the more it favors Nate because his cardio game is just insane. Not that Masvidal has bad cardio, but I think Nate is going to win almost every time. He's going to win the long, drawn-out dogfights every time. I just, like you said, I mean, a submission, I could see it. I could see him getting a submission maybe like in the later rounds or going to winning the points war and winning the decision. But I don't know, man. I think Masvidal, I like him, man. I like his power. I just
he's a fighter after every fighter's heart. I mean, him and Diaz both are. They don't deal with this bullshit like the shit that Diaz pulled with USADA. I mean,
right.
Diaz don't care. He's not going to let somebody taint his name. And Masvidal could have took any route he wanted, calling Diaz a cheater, this and the other. He knew that Diaz wasn't a cheater and something was up, and even tweeted, I think it was like 40 minutes after Diaz said he wasn't fighting. He's like, no, we're fighting. He's like, because I know this is bullshit. You know, I'll see you at 244.
I don't know, man. When that came about, I was I think we talked about it. Like, it was interesting. It is what it is. He ended up being clean. Everything's fine.
Right.
But I thought it was definitely interesting, man. Well, look, brother, I don't want to keep you, man. I know you're out in the country, man. But like I said, we appreciate you, man, and we're looking forward to you, man. I cannot wait till BKFC 9.
Man, I can't either.
I'm just pumped for the whole card, man. I'm pumped for all you guys, you and Harris and Joey. I mean, I tell you what, I'm a fan first, man. Truly, honestly, I'm a fan first, and you guys are all awesome. So we appreciate your time, man, and good luck to you. And I'm sure we'll be in touch soon, brother. And there he goes.
He's like, fuck it, I'm out.
There he is. There he is.
That's funny.
All right, looks like we got Mr. Lorenzo Hunt on tap here. Guys, we're going to take a quick little 20-second break. And do me a favor. There's a link. If you're on YouTube, it's on the bottom. If you're on Facebook, I believe it's up top. Check out MyBookie, mybookie.com. It's you could bet like MMA, bare knuckle, stuff like that. If you use our link, you get a 50% add-on bonus when you do your first deposit. So please check that out. Money, money, money. And it gives us a little bit of credit too, and helps us out. So help us out. Check out the little commercial we made.
Help you.
And help us help you. Helps us keep bringing the content to you because, man, I tell you what, the equipment.
That's just important.
Yeah,
I mean, hear what we have to say.
That's right. That's especially this guy, that guy over here, Mr. Tom Show. Guys, we'll be right back in about 20 seconds with Mr. Lorenzo Hunt. Hey, everybody, don't forget to check out MyBookie Sportsbook and Casino, America's most trusted sportsbook in 2019. You can look at betting lines and place bets in bare knuckle and MMA. Don't forget to use our referral code down below for a 50% sign-up bonus. That's MyBookie Sportsbook and Casino. Lorenzo Hunt, my man, what's going on, man?
What's up, bro? Can you guys hear me? My shit look like it's acting kind of funny.
We can hear you, yeah.
No, we can hear you. We can definitely hear you.
All right. All right.
Man, I tell you what, I just had to get your thoughts. So we talked to your, you know what I'm going to ask. We talked to your opponent last week. Okay, we talked to Reggie Pena. And I don't know if you remember, right after your fight, we talked to you, and I was asking you about, if the beef was settled and, if everything was all good. And you're like, yeah, in my opinion, it's settled. I respect them, blah, blah, and all that good stuff. We talked to Reggie last week, and in his eyes, it ain't settled. And I don't know if you saw it, but he had a lot of choice words to say about you, man. I mean, what do you think about that? Like, where are you at with him? And I hate to draw it out, but it just seems really interesting. Like the way you guys, the way it kind of started, and then the fight itself, and it's just, and now this, it's just, I'm not into the whole drama thing, but it's really interesting to me. Like, what do you think about his response to the fight, and what he called you?
I'm gonna tell you the truth, man. I'm a gladiator, pure and simple, man. I'm a banger. I come to fight. I don't come to talk. I don't come to make friends. If I say something you don't like, so what? You can't whoop me. I'm cool with it. You know what I mean? Whatever. Like Reggie, he's an emotional guy. You know what I mean? He was. I would say, my coach kind of pushed me over there to give him the old good job and a hug after the fight, but I really didn't want to because he was an asshole the entire time, bro. He's talking about me not being genuine. Fighters, when we bump fists at the end and hug and shit, that's for the kids. That's for any kids that saw the show and they like, hope them guys ain't gonna kill each other in the parking lot. You know what I mean? But truthfully, nah, man. I mean, I shook his hand and stuff because, he took some good punches. He didn't see it that way. I don't know, the doctor and the ambulance, somehow the other people convinced him that he did better than he did. You know what I mean? Everybody want to see a rematch. If you a Reggie Pena fan, you wouldn't want to see a rematch. He almost got, come on, man. That wasn't even close. Not even close. Like, you guys are like, people telling Reggie, like, oh, it's okay, you did good, you should try it again. Hell no, you shouldn't try it again. You lucky you made it out of there.
So what you're saying is you're not interested in a rematch.
It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time, bro. I wouldn't even want to. It'll be disappointing to the fans. I wasn't even using all my shit. You know what I mean? I like a challenge. Reggie Pena is no challenge for me. That's not a challenge. You understand? Being tough and all of that, that's okay. If we were in a Western fighting in a freaking bar room, you know what I mean, punching each other, see who can take them. But this is bare knuckle fighting. If you can't move your head, you're dead. Reggie can't move his head. We're talking about, a concussion, likely brain damage, maybe some long lasting injuries. Why would you put him back in there with me? All them big shots. I must have watched the tape 40 times, bro. It was dangerous the whole time, from ding to dong, from the first round all the way to the last round. He just was too dumb to fall.
let me play devil's advocate here, Lorenzo. Let me play devil's advocate. Okay. The first round, there's nobody in the world, in my opinion, that could argue you had a strong first round. Like, you were sticking it to him. That first round was strong. Okay. Second round, I thought you had it and it was strong. And like you said, self-admitted, you started kind of slowing down. We were talking about after the fight. Do you think that, like, what do you think would have happened had it gone? Because his argument is that if it would have went outside, if it would never got stopped because of the hematoma, he thinks that, I guess, the cardio game is what he's saying. He thinks that the cardio game would have went to his advantage if it would have kept going. What do you say about that?
There's an old saying: if ifs and buts was titties and butts, we'd all be fucked. Listen, man. Listen, man. Listen. Reggie, he's listening to the commentators. He's listening to all those Tampa fans that were cheering Reggie, hoping that he got something going. Even when Reggie threw his flurries, he wasn't even touching me. He didn't hit me with no shots like I hit him. I'm hitting him with body rocking shots, changing his direction, changing his mind about what his game plan was. And even in the third round, he's talking about he's coming back in the third round. Where? You mean right after I landed the left hook and the shot to the body that lifted you off your feet? I may have looked tired, but I recover fast. See, and that's how I train. I don't train to never get tired. I train to recover fast. And when he went in the corner with the doctor and they looked back at me and I was ready to go for the fourth round, it was just going to be more of the same. More of the same. If y'all saw me slowing down at all, I was baiting Reggie. Come here, dummy. Come here. He was coming anyway. He would walk right up to me. I blast him in his face hard. I didn't have to do nothing sophisticated. I didn't have to change no angles. I didn't have to do nothing but wait for him. He walked right up to me and let me punch him in his eye. It was going to be more of the same in round 4.
So, like, you're not at all interested. I mean, I know you said it, but you're not at all interested whatsoever in another fight.
Maybe for some big money, you know what I mean, or something like that. But I'm more interested in some of these other big names that they sign in. Some of these guys are jumping in, you know what I mean, jumping in the bare knuckle, thinking it's UFC or thinking it's jiu-jitsu. It's not. It's not boxing. It's not UFC. It's not none of that shit that you've been doing. So I'm hoping to get one of them other big names that's jumping in the ring thinking because they got all these fights, you know what I mean, that they're going to be a bare knuckle shoe in. No, this is something totally different. This is going to be totally different champs. Ain't no UFC guys coming over, taking over bare knuckle because they not prepared for this. You can't bail out to the ground game when your face get all swollen. You can't bail out to jiu-jitsu when a guy got your number up top. So you gotta stick with it. You know what I mean? So like I said, I'm past Reggie Pena. You know what I mean? I'm reaching for a belt. I don't think keep fighting Reggie Pena is gonna get me that. I'm reaching for big money. I don't think fighting Reggie Pena again is gonna get me that. You know what I mean? So like it's a waste of time to me.
Who's in your radar?
Anybody who gonna get me to where I need to go. Anybody in the crew.
Nobody in particular. Nobody on your spectrum. Like, yeah, I want to punch that motherfucker in his face.
Nah, I don't see. That's the thing. I don't have no enemies, and I didn't pick Reggie. Reggie and his crew picked me. I'm new to the sport just like everybody else. The only difference is I don't have all the friends and the connections to be able to pick who I want to fight. Reggie and his crew picked me, and I found out about it. Months later. You can't take that from me. Reggie wanted to pretend like they weren't being sneaky. They were being sneaky. His whole camp, they thought they had one. They thought I was a lame. They thought I was a duck. So they picked me, thinking it was going to be a win for Reggie. He's looking past me, thinking he's going to be the Tampa star, and everybody's going to, don't look past me. That's stupid. That's stupid. You know what I mean? They tried one, and they failed. Don't do that. You know what I mean? I've been training. I've been busting my ass. I fought a bare knuckle fight already. I won in the third round knockout. Then I trained to fight for BKFC in September, but it fell through. and I wind up getting on this card. So I never stop training. I'm ready. I'm down for whatever. You know what I mean? These guys they drinking beer and eating burritos and bullshitting, thinking they can just jump in the ring and beat somebody like me.
What kind of
Big
time
mistake.
frame are you looking at in order to return? What kind of time frame would you like to see?
Shit, I go in November. I'm driving on November the 16th, hoping somebody stubs their fucking toe in Mississippi so I can jump in the ring like a nutcase and do it again. I'm going out there just to size them up. Like shit, I'm gonna be on weight and everything when I get there. I'm gonna be ready. Like I said, I hope somebody stub their toe because I'll take that. I'll take it. Yeah, every time they got one, I'm taking it.
I
like it, man. I like it.
I can't argue with man. That's tough to. I tell you what, man.
I have a very similar mentality. I'm right there with you, man. Just call me and let me know. I'll fight tomorrow.
Bruh, call me and let me know. And I'm telling you, it's gonna be a surprise every time. I love to see the odds. I love to see, I'm telling you, guys making a real big mistake carrying around those records like it means something. Shit means nothing. This is brand new. This is a brand new sport. You're still talking about guys who tapped out. Oh, I'm 7 and I'm 16 and 5. Bruh, this is not that sport.
Right. Yeah, it's a brand new thing, man. It's totally different. It's a whole new game.
I agree, man. Well, I'm going to go ahead and continue the trend here. We're asking everybody, Jason Knight and Artem Lobov too. What are your thoughts on it? Who takes it?
I like Artem. Man. I like Artem. I like it, man. And I'm gonna say it like this. They both of the guys. They like to take shots. They like to take them to give them and everything. But somehow, out of all those punches, Artem came out cleaner. You know what I mean? And I think I don't know why they wouldn't consider that. When they made the decision, and I think they did. You know what I mean? It was a war, but look at Artem's face and look at the other guy's face. You know what I mean? It's written all over your face. Like you say, anybody has the potential to change it up and switch it up and try some new shit, and it might work, it might not. But I think Artem has a way of forcing guys to fight like that. I seen him do. He'll make you bang with him, and that's trouble. You might say, "Oh, I'm going to try to jab. I'm going to try to change angles. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that." Yeah, but the guy's making you bang. He's forcing that fight, And if you he's been winning like that.
I agree. It's not always necessarily the prettiest, when he fights, but like you said, he forces you to fight his fight.
I mean, excuse my language, but he's tearing, he's ripping you up.
Say what you want, man. There ain't there's no censor on here.
He ripped that guy's face up, bro. He don't even look the same. Like that's crazy. And so yeah, I'm going to see it. I want to see what happens. I'm not a guru. I'm not science. I'm not real scientific when it comes to picking fights and all of that. But like I say, he dangerous, man. That's dangerous. Maybe he can trick him or do something different, but I don't see it. I don't see it. He looks a little bigger than him too, and if he's not utilizing range and all of that now this late in the game, then you're not going to be able to do it, on the fly. Like, oh yeah, I forgot I'm taller. Let me try this. Hell, it's not going to work. You're going to be right back banging. And I think Artem's a little stronger than him too.
He might be. I think you're right. I think Artem probably, because Artem he fights 155 and 145. Jason, I don't think
35,
he would.
35, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't think he would ever fight.
I know he walks around right at 155. He talked about that down in Tampa.
Yeah.
He's like, I weigh 156, 157 pounds, so 55 is easy.
Yeah.
He looks a little bigger and stronger than the other guy. But we'll see. Like I say, we'll see.
And I guess while we got you on too, we'll keep this trend going too. Are you gonna watch Masvidal versus Diaz? Are you into the UFC?
Yeah.
What do you think, man? What do you think about that fight?
I was a long time fan of Diaz, but lately, as the more I see more of them, I don't know if you guys were been into combat sports long, but there's a look on a person's face when they took too many shots. You know what I'm saying? Muhammad Ali had it, but more so, what's his name? What's his name? The guy, the greatest boxing match ever. They bank route.
Mickey Ward.
Say that again.
Mickey Ward.
Mickey Ward and the other guy. What was the other
Arturo
guy?
Gatti.
Arturo Gatti. You remember how Arturo Gatti looked when he fought Mayweather?
Yeah.
He had this real somber look on his face, and it's just like this. It's almost like a embalmed body, like a it's just like a
like a shell of himself.
Right. I see that on him now. I see that on Nate now.
Gotcha.
I see that in his face. You know what I mean? You can see it right on his face. It's like he used to be bad, but I don't know if he can turn that fire on. That fire, that fire burns out after a while, especially when you use it up in such a destructive way.
Right. Yeah, he takes a lot of damage.
Taking all that damage, and after a while, your brain just won't let it just won't work like it used to, and I can see that on his face. So I'm always betting against Diaz now. Those older fighters that took a lot of damage and were known for banging. You know what I mean? Like even Vanderlei. I met Vanderlei at the fight the other day, bro. I was looking at him like, no, don't do this. Just stay over there. Don't do. Ain't you already rich? Please don't do this because it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. The other guy, Hector
Lombard. Yeah.
Is he close to my weight?
I think he's an 85er.
Like an 85er?
I think he's an 85er.
That sounds like a payday.
Could be fun, man.
That sounds like a payday. I like to put some knots on his head for the money. You know what I mean? So yeah, like guys jumping into this, I hope they don't think it's gonna be easy.
Right. That's a very common assumption.
Bare Knuckles gonna have new champions. No one from the UFC or Bellator is coming to take over Bare Knuckle. Bare Knuckle is gonna be totally new. His champions are gonna be totally vicious, totally different. It's totally different. And they're gonna jump in thinking it's easy money, and they're gonna get hurt.
I have to tend to agree with you because I think Bare Knuckle, man, I think they're gonna create their own stars. I think there's already like Jim Ellers. Jim Ellers, I think, man, I think he's it is what it is. He's had 3 fights, he's had 3 KOs.
Especially if Feldman don't only fight the UFC big names against other old UFC big names. You know what I mean?
Right.
Nah, mix it up. Make they ass, because they 0-0 too. They 0-0.
I agree.
They got big records, but this their debuter. So I mean, even if they're the main card, don't get me wrong. I'm not disrespecting the guys by saying they don't deserve but mix it up a little bit. You know what I mean?
Agree. Yeah,
I agree.
No,
too.
I agree because
it's kind of us against them anyway. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And when they jump in here, they're gonna have to fight the bare knuckle champions. They're gonna have to fight the people who love this shit.
Definitely. I agree 100%, man.
I mean, go ahead, Lorenzo.
I'm sorry, go ahead. To reiterate about that look on his face. Reggie Pena has that look too. That took too many shots, damn near dead, a little bit slower than he used to be. Look, that's a dangerous look, and that's what comes with those big, long records. 16 and 17 and 5 and 21, bruh. And then you come to bare knuckle, you already damaged. ACLs torn, shoulders blew out, necks hurt. Now you want me to punch you in the face.
With no pads.
With no gloves. And you were never good at moving your head.
Valid point. Very valid point.
I mean, just to kind of touch back on kind of what you were saying before. I mean, you're right, because as they bring in these UFC guys and the bigger stars, the older stars from the past kind of thing, like you guys are fighting for your spots, because like you said, a lot of these guys who are, if they were in the UFC for however long, they're coming in and they're, like you said, a lot of these guys are thinking it's an easy payday. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna excel at it. I mean, Paulie Malignaggi was a great example. He's a world class boxer, world champion boxer. He thought he was gonna step in there and
Bruh.
school Artem Lobov. Like, he really thought that he
Listen to me.
believed.
Listen to me. He was better than Artem. He punched Artem twice and broke both his hands. It don't matter. This is not your game.
It's not
anymore.
boxing.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not
Right.
boxing. He broke his hand with a jab, and then he broke his hand. The first clean right hand he landed right on Artem's cheek. Broke his hand. He never used the right hand again. I said, oh shit. Yeah, this is not your game. This is not your game. And a lot of boxing guys are gonna try to hop over too. Like, I can do that.
Yeah.
No, because to tell you the truth, even boxing with the gloves, it makes you a little bit lazy. Because you can take a jab or you can take a cross and you're going to be okay. One jab, one cross, you bleeding, you got a hematoma, growing out your head, look like another baby. Looks like a baby. It don't work like that. It don't work like that.
That's a true story. Yeah, you can't take a third of the shots that you can take in a regular boxing match. Even in an MMA fight, you can take a tremendous amount of shots because you've got that padding on there. You can't do that in a bare knuckle fight. It's just not. It's not plausible.
Yeah, and when I went back to the corner after round 2, I think the announcer was so surprised. He was like, Lorenzo's face is so clean. He actually said that. Bro, this is knife fighting. If you don't have good head movement, fast hands, and can hurt people without being hurt, you're not gonna be here long. You're not gonna be here long. So you know what I mean? Guys coming in like, oh yeah, I'm a banger, I'm tough. Nah, that shit's not gonna work. That's not gonna work.
Not without leaving with some bruises.
Yeah, it's gonna cut you up, and then you got another fight.
I'm
ready to fight right now. I'm ready to fight right now. You know what I mean? That's how you fight. That's the only way to survive. Like to make it big in this, you're gonna have to be able to hurt people without taking a lot of damage.
Yeah,
definitely.
The champion, when they start passing out belts, it's gonna be like you say. What's his name? Jim Ellers. That guy, bro. Look at him. He's whooping ass. He ain't taking no lot of damage.
Right.
This is what they want. This is what bare knuckle is demanding. It's demanding a freaking ninja, assassin, a sharpshooter, somebody who can get in there and get the job done and get out of there. That's what it's gonna take.
100%, brother. Well, I'll tell you what, man. I can't wait to see you fight again, man. We enjoyed your performance in Tampa, and I just can't wait to see you fight again. Whether it's a Reggie Pena or whoever it is, seriously.
I got one more question before you kick me off, man.
Go ahead, brother.
Why did y'all do that whole interview with Reggie and not ask him to take his glasses off? Come on, man. Come on, man.
I can't.
He's sitting there doing the damn interview like he's Cool Mo D or freaking or Ice Cube, and y'all like, bro, take the glasses off, bro.
Hey, man.
Off the glasses.
Somebody could show up in a clown costume. I don't give a shit. I'll be honest with you. Someone could.
You know why you have the glasses on. You want to sit there and talk shit about me, but you ain't gonna show them what I did to your face for all that shit talking for all those months. But you want to come back online and shit talk with these big ass glasses and a hat on like a battered wife, but you're not going to talk shit about me and tell me I'm a scumbag and all kind of shit, bro. Please take off your glasses.
All fair points. Can't argue.
When you beat him in the rematch, you can interrupt the interview, take his glasses right off his face, turn it into a trilogy.
God.
Fair points, man.
I didn't see it till later. I couldn't stop laughing. I had to watch it 2 or 3 times because I couldn't stop laughing. know what I'm saying? Because he got them big ass glasses on. But okay, man. Yeah, hit me up anytime, man.
All fair points, my friend. Well, look, man, we don't want to take up too much of your time, man. We appreciate it so much. It was our absolute pleasure. It was awesome having you on, man. I like your style, brother. So we'll definitely have you on in the future. And hope, hey, I tell you what, hopefully something happens. And I mean, not that I hope something happens to somebody, but if you get a chance to step up at the next card,
yeah, I'll be right there.
That's awesome. So
I'll be right there. I think I'm gonna try to let me weigh in when everybody else is weighing in.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're already licensed. You're good to go, man. Might as well jump on the scale, see where you're at.
Fuck it.
What can
All
hurt?
right, man. Lorenzo Hunt, like I said, we appreciate it, man. We'll catch you later.
Be safe, man.
Man, we got some. Let's see. We got some people. People were tuning into that. We appreciate it. He's cool, man. I like him. I like Lorenzo Hunt.
I like him. He's a good guy. I like his mentality.
Yeah. I like that. I like that style, man. I like that. Just that. It's not just shit talking. The shit talk is just like you said. I think you kind of described it one time. It's just that confidence, like when you were talking about it with Julian back then. It's just you weren't. It's not shit talking. It's just I'm confident in what I'm going to do.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. He's got you can tell that he's owning his persona, we'll say, and he's confident in the things that he says and what comes out of his mouth and in his approach to the fight game as a whole. It oozes off of him. I enjoy it. It's like very similar to Joey, and he was just fucking full of energy and ready to go. It's just like, dude, you are just loaded with machismo right now. Like, tone it down. Yeah, he's a good dude, man. I like him.
Yeah, man. I'm pumped. You know what? And I mean, truly, I really do agree with what he was saying about the title, man. Like it's and maybe somebody might take that as throwing some shade at Artem or Knight, but I'm not throwing shade at that.
See, I get both perspectives, I guess, because that was like the greatest combat sports fight of all time or whatever, so it's like, 100%. Okay, I get making that the main event, but I also think that like
you have to make your titles important.
Right. Yeah. Like the title, like everybody wants to be known as the guy who was involved with the greatest fight of all time. Not disputing that in any way, shape, or form.
100%.
But like you said, like in the reality of the situation, the title's what everybody's fighting for. like that's the milestone. So yeah, I think that
I'm going to pause you for a second, Tom Shoaf, because I have to show the boss man himself is chiming in. Tom Shoaf is a bad dude.
Oh well, you're very kind. Thank you, boss man. I try to be as kind as possible, but I'm ready to punch a motherfucker in the face. You better believe that shit. Call me.
Hey, there you go, man. There you go. But I mean, I guess since he is tuning in, man, I just think I really think that the titles need to headline the card. And like I said, I get it. I do. I understand Artem and Knight 2 being at the headline, but man, and maybe that's that pro wrestling mentality, like I said, because I just always believe
that's like the pinnacle, though. Like I said, like that greatest fight in the history of sports. Like, that's like a once in a lifetime opportunity, and the likelihood of that being the repeat is probably not very high. What's most important in the long term is the lineage of champions, and you need to make that most prevalent in the card, in my opinion. That's the pinnacle, that's the peak, that's the main event, is the heavyweight world championship. That's boxing, but I get the nostalgia, especially in Mississippi with that fight. So,
cool. Jason is the hometown guy. I get it. The first fight was the fucking whatever you want to call it, fight of the decade, fight of the century, best fight ever. It's there's not a whole lot to argue from that point of view. I understand that, man. But yeah, I just don't want to sound like a broken record on it. But I mean, either way, I'm looking forward to the fight. I think that's going to be an awesome fight. I think Beltran and Sherman. I think it's going to be an awesome fight. I'm looking forward to it so much, man. It's always a stacked card, man.
I'm really curious to see how that's going to play out because, like we were talking about with Beltran, like he looked really good against Jamie Campbell, like his forward pressure, his mentality, his accuracy, just everything that he was doing was working, and he performed wonderfully. And then Chase, like I said, he came in with a solid game plan against AJ and performed to the T it looked like he wanted to perform. It didn't look like he really had any struggles in there, unfortunately. Yeah. So I'm really curious to see how this fight plays out, man, because I think they're both going to be in killer shape. I think Chase absolutely wants to defend that title, and he's prepared for it. And I think that Tony absolutely wants that title. I shouldn't say Tony. I'm sorry. Joey wants that title, and he wants – he's gonna come for it. He knows he has to take it from the champion. So that's gonna be a stellar fight. I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, and I can't remember, and maybe you could help me out, man. Did we ever talk about the Arnold Adams Chase Sherman fight? Because I know, like, you trained with Arnold Adams, right? Like, so, like, I think Joey was kind of spot on, man, because I think Arnold Adams has all the tools to retain that title and all the tools to beat Chase Sherman. But I think, like he said, that fight wasn't so much about abilities or skills. I think it was more about game planning, and Chase Sherman had a good game plan. I take nothing away from him. But I was getting so frustrated watching that fight. I really was, because I really thought Arnold Adams has every tool in the book to beat Chase Sherman. It was like,
he absolutely does. 100%. It was like that fight came down to training. Is the long and the short of that. I love AJ. He's a buddy of mine, and he's been a training partner for a long time. I'm not going to speak on his behalf on how much he was training or wasn't training, because I genuinely don't know. But what I do know is that he could have been training a lot differently, and he could have been training a lot better. And he wasn't, for whatever reason, real life issues, whatever you want to call it, happenstance, whatever the case may be. But he didn't train to his full potential. Therefore, he wasn't able to fight to his full potential. And that was the downfall for AJ in that fight, for sure.
And like you said, by the time it got to like the third round, he was just so behind.
Right.
Man, it was really frustrating watching that. But I mean,
I don't want to watch it too.
I'm sure, and I don't want to take anything away from Chase Sherman, because I don't want the sound.
No, like I said, Chase had a solid game plan, and he went out there and he performed it excellently. Like, we know that AJ likes to set traps. We know that AJ likes to bait you into feeling comfortable, and at no point did Chase ever settle down in front of him and allow himself to be countered the way that AJ wanted to counter him. Even when he wasn't throwing the counters, he wasn't there for the counters to be thrown. He knew what he wanted to do. He went out there, he did his thing, and he got out of the way. Even when he wasn't being countered, he didn't hang out and wait to get countered. He just got the fuck out of the way. He performed his game plan excellently. Like I said, I don't want to take anything away from Chase in any way, shape, or form. I just want to say, just make my opinion known that AJ could have trained a lot differently for that fight, and I think that would have made for a very different fight as a whole.
Right there with you, my friend. I'm right there with you, man. So, guys, we got, of course, like I was just saying, BKFC number 9. Once again, I can't believe I'm saying that. It's amazing.
2 years, man.
It's been amazing. Number 9 is coming up November 16th. Of course, Artem, headlined by Artem and Jason Knight, number 2, the rematch. Guys, this weekend, of course, we just touched on it, UFC, MSG, New York City. We got Diaz Masvidal too. A lot of us are on different sides of the fence, but it is what it is. I was hoping to have I was hoping to have a little more people on my side, but there's no. I think no. Lorenzo was Masvidal.
Lorenzo was on your side for sure, for sure. I think there's a lot of people on your side, man. I think that there's just that nostalgia with the Diaz family, man. Like anybody who's been, I mean, you know this. They've been in the game for so long. We've literally watched Nate grow up in that cage. Like he went from a 21-year-old kid to a 30-something-year-old man, and we all watched that happen.
Yeah.
Masvidal, we haven't really had that experience. He fought a lot in other organizations, and then he came over to the UFC, you know? So unless you're like a diehard who followed all of the fight shows, you didn't see a lot of his early career, whereas we do with Nate. So I think it's more of a nostalgia thing with a lot of the more mainstream UFC aficionados.
Boss Man is asking about the trilogy.
About a trilogy? You're going to do this over Combat Insiders, man? All right,
hey,
well.
Hey, man. What Tom Show?
Call me, man.
What better
place
would there be to do it?
I agreed. I think this is the perfect platform to let everybody know what's coming up next.
Let me just say this before you say whatever you're going to say. I just want to say this. I would personally love, just as a fan. I know you're on here, and you know we're cool and stuff. But let me tell you what, man. The fan in me, all BS aside, the first fight was amazing. It was quick, but it was awesome. The second fight was amazing in Cancun, you and Diego. I personally would love. I don't know where you're sitting at with this. I would personally love to see a third fight, the trilogy, because I mean that's the rubber match. He got you, you got him. It's time to see. You know, maybe I don't know, man. I can't. No, I would love to see it.
I get it, and I agree. I would love to see the trilogy. I would love to put the final, I don't know, nail in the coffin, so to speak, with the Diego situation. I'm all for the idea of a trilogy. I'm not opposed to it in any way, shape, or form. You might have to chat with Diego about that. Not saying that he's scared by any means, not saying that he doesn't want the fight by any means, but I do know that after the last fight, we had a little bit of a conversation, and he said something along the lines of he wants to fight somebody besides me before he decides to retire. He's getting older, and he's not sure how much longer he's got left, and so on and so forth. And like I said, I'm up for the idea. I'll fight anybody. Let's get it, you know. But
paging Mr. Feldman.
Let's catch it with that man. See what's going on with him.
Paging Mr. Feldman. Make it happen. Paging Mr. Feldman. I know you're watching. Make it happen. I'm just saying. I want to see it. A lot of people want to see it. We've gotten a lot of messages about you and Diego seeing the trilogy.
It was an excellent couple of fights, man, and it was they wouldn't have been the fights that they were without us having the mentalities that we have. We're both forward pressure fighters. We're both we both want to fight. We're both, you know, action fighters, and we're gonna push the pace. We're gonna make it intense. He's obviously relentless and doesn't want to give up, and I obviously have of the same mentality. You're gonna have to fucking kill me in that damn thing, and he damn near did. You know, it was a great fight for the sense of glory. You know, there was all the gore and the blood and the mayhem. Both of them they're fantastic. Yeah. So it only makes sense that people want to see a third one.
Well, you guys represent.
I don't know if my body can handle a third one, man. Like seriously, like I'm thinking about it, and like that first one, like I remember the recovery process from the first one with like my neck and my jaw being all swollen and stuff, and then I remember the recovery process from the second one with all of the cuts in my mouth, and I had like a couple of stitches under my eye and my hands, and you know, just like the recovery process after those fights were grueling because they were grueling fucking fights. Like that one in Mexico, we beat the shit out of each other. Like, oh my God. You know, so it was a long recovery process. And then to have that fight with Julian, which was another grueling fight for me. Like I took way more damage than I should have, but that's beside the point. Thinking about the recovery process of a third Diego fight, man, it's like, I'm going to have to switch up my whole game plan going into that fight, man. Cause I cannot take the types of damage, or I can't fight the same type of fight I fought in Mexico and take that type of damage again, man. I'm trying to have a couple more years in this career. Like that's one of those, like, man, you fight that fight wrong, you may not have another fight, like that's a tough fight. Like I said, I'm looking forward to it. I'm open to the idea. But it's going to be tough. Shit.
I hear you, brother. And I'll just finish with this, and we'll hop off of it. But I tell you what, man, kind of what Lorenzo Hunt was saying is a lot of people come in here from MMA, from boxing, and they think that it's just an easy transition and this isn't for everybody. But I tell you what, man, like that there are certain guys who I think are just for this, and like not to I'm not, please, I'm not kissing Tom's ass here. I genuinely believe this. Tom's one of those guys. Diego's one of those guys. Like I really think you guys are built for this sport, whatever it is. Man,
we're cut from a different cloth, dude. I don't know what it is. It's like we don't fit in the MMA world. We don't fit in the boxing world. Like there's too much that we like to do for boxing, but there's not enough that we like to do for MMA. And all of it revolves around like just beating the shit out of somebody. Like I'm like, let's fucking go, man. Like let's figure this shit out, like men. I don't know. I think that there's something primal about it in the grand scheme of things. And like I said, we're cut from a different cloth, and I love this damn sport, dude. I really do. I really do. It's just, but it's grueling, man. It's like I said, that the risk versus reward is a fine thing to balance.
Sure. Understood. Well, guys, I tell you what, we're fixing to wrap this up, man. And again, we appreciate everybody who has tuned in, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube. Please check out in the description. There's a link of our sponsors and affiliates and stuff like that. Every time you click on one of these things, it helps us out so much because it takes money to run the stuff for the equipment, and it's not cheap. And we travel, to cover these guys and bring you that stuff that that not everybody is doing. Like we're trying to be on the ground level with this, and really just we want to be those guys. We want to be the go-to guys for bare knuckle, and
give you all the info, just like firsthand. We want to be in their bedrooms, waiting
in the bedrooms
to give you the info,
under the covers,
right?
Blankets wrapped up. We want to be. Yeah. We want to be there.
But snuggle you in at night. Don't you worry.
We're gonna snuggle you in at night. I like it. We're going to tuck you in. Guys, thank you so much. We appreciate it so much. Check out CombatInsiders.com. Check out Knucklepedia, the only fighter directory solely dedicated to bare knuckle. And that's all I got, man. That's Mr. Tom Schoaf over there. I'm Joshua Furs. You're watching Combat Insiders Live, and we're out.